y one more time. Let's do this one more time. We solve for y. We move 2x to the other side, and we divided both sides by -3, term by term. This will not help us identify the slope and the y-intercept. That's why we have to do it term by term. -3y divided by -3, -2x divided by -3, and 10 divided by -3. Therefore, the slope is 2/3. And as you correctly identified, 0, -10/3 is the y-intercept. Okay, let's choose another. Let's say 55. -3x minus 4y equals 6. Same question. Find the slope and the y-intercept. Can anyone get us started? Add 3x to both sides. -4y equals 3x plus 6. Do we all agree with this first step? We are moving this term to the other side. It's negative on one side. When I move it to the other side, it will be positive. Good. Now, in order to determine the slope, I have to solve for y. That was the first step. Now the second step. Divide. Yes, term by term. This by -4, and it's y. 3 by -4, and it's -3/4 x. And 6 by -4, and it's -3/2. One more time. I divide -4y by -4, and I get y. I divide 3, just 3, or 3x, same thing, by -4, and I get -3/4 x. And I divide 6 by -4, and I get -3/2. Only now I can identify two things, the slope and the y-intercept of this line. Can anyone identify the slope? -3/4. And can anyone identify the y-intercept? 0, -3/2. Are we okay with giving an equation and being able to determine the slope and the y-intercept? Yes, please. Okay. Let's say 48, which is 3x minus 5y equals 1. We're asked two things. We're asked to find the slope and the y-intercept. Can anyone get us started? Say it again. -5y. Yes? Hannah, you wanted to say something or no? Sorry. -3x. Do you all agree with this first step? Yes? Good. Finally, y equals? Yes, 3/5 x. Careful. -1/5. I need two things, the slope and the y-intercept, please. So slope is 3/5. It means what? It means that it goes up 3, and the meantime it goes 5 to the right. Up 3, 5 to the right. So, and the y-intercept? Yes, but 0. 0, -1/5. Are we okay with this? Yes? Okay, now I would like to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines.
Why wouldn't you change the 3x to -?
Say it again.
Why is it?
You talk about this?
Yeah, never mind.
Okay.
I was just looking.
That's okay.
It was somewhere else in the
No problem. I'd rather go back and check because I can make a mistake as well. So parallel lines, perpendicular lines. So now, please look. These two lines are parallel. What do you think is the relationship between their slopes? In what relationship would their slopes be?
They're on the same slope.
Absolutely. Same slope. They must have the same steepness if they are parallel, right? So M1 equals M2. So these are two parallel lines. M1 is the slope of the first one. M2 is the slope of the second one. They must be the same. Now let's talk about perpendicular lines. Here's a line, and here is a line that is perpendicular to it. Here it is. Which means they form, I should say, 4 90-degree angles. So this is not this, but this. Right? Okay. Now, there is also a relationship between the two slopes in the case in which they are perpendicular. So if this is M1 and this is the slope M2, the relationship between the two slopes is very different. And we have to remember it. Yes, please.
So it would be positive M1 equals to negative M2.
1 over M2. The negative reciprocal of the other one. So the first one, lines are parallel, they must have the same slope. Lines are perpendicular, the relationship between the two slopes has to be this. Now I would like to give you a line. So given 2x minus 3y equals 6, find the slope of a line, another line of another, that is, number 1, parallel to this one, and number 2, perpendicular. This is a sign for perpendicular. Just for simplicity, I'd rather use it than write a whole word. To this line. So I'm given an equation and I'm told, find the slope of a line that would be parallel to this one and the slope of another line that would be perpendicular to this one. What do I have to find?
Y equals mx plus b is.
Right, why?
Because.
Why would I solve this equation for y?
Because you know what the slope is.
Because I need to determine the slope of the given line. And then I will determine these two. So first, indeed, I have to solve for y. So solve for y to find M1. Good, I'm ready. What will you tell me to write? Excellent.
Negative 2x plus 6.
Good, so then y equals?
Negative 2/3.
So negative 2 divided by negative 3 would be
2/3x
2/3 x
plus
minus 6 divided by negative 3,
that's a negative 2.
negative 2. Perfect. So then I have the slope of the given line. So M1 slope of the given line, which is, now I have it, 2 over 3. So I'm answering question number 1. What will be the slope of a line that is parallel to this one?
2/3.
So M2 will be 2/3 lines are parallel. Number 2, What will be the slope of a line that is perpendicular to this line that was given in the problem, whose slope is 2/3? Negative?
Negative 3 over 2.
-3/2. So -3/2 for perpendicular lines.
I don't know why, but
What does it say?
I thought that was one fraction line.
Okay, let's read. Okay, given this, find the slope of another line. That lines are parallel, lines are parallel, lines are perpendicular. So Garrett, yes.
I don't know why, but.
Okay, let me explain why. Would you
No.
wait for a second?
It was rusty, and I thought the perpendicular sign was like a 1 and a fraction sign.
Okay, can I explain this? Is this the question?
No.
Okay then.
I'm good with it.
Okay then. Perfect. Problem on page 213. I would like to look at problem 67 on 213. 6x equals 5y plus 1. And the second equation is negative 12x plus 10y equals 1. Here's the question. Of course. So we are given two equations. 6x equals 5y plus 1 and negative 12x plus 10y equals 1. And we are asked, determine whether each pair of lines is parallel, perpendicular, or none of the above. Determine whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or none of the above. What do I need to do? What do I need to find? Yes? Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, but not in this case. You can plug in x and y unless you solve for y. And right now, there is no need for that. I mean, there is a need to solve for y, but there's no need for the calculator. So I'm given two equations, and I'm asked, are they parallel, are they perpendicular, or none of the above? What do I do?
You get them into slope.
Exactly. I have to solve for y because I need to find their slope. So how do I find the slope for the first line? Okay, so 5y equals 6x minus 1.
Then you divide by 5.
So 6 over 5x minus 1 over 5. Can anyone give us the slope of the first line? That's it. So I solved the first equation for y just to identify the slope. I did. Now what? Of course, of course. So then I have 10y equals 12x plus 1. I moved 12x to the other side. And what now? Yes?
Didn't you subtract 6x?
No. I subtracted 1 and I read the equation from here. So I subtracted 1 and I said 5y equals 6x minus 1. And now what? Y equals? 12 over 10, which is 6/5. X, but plus 1/10. Because I'm dividing by 10. So what is the slope of the second line, please? What do we conclude about these two lines? Yes. So lines are parallel. Why? Because they have the same slope. Let's look at problem 65. Any questions for me? Is this okay? 65. In 65, we have x minus 3y equals negative 6, and y equals 3x minus 9. Can anyone get us started?
We're gonna find the slope of each one.
Good?
I'm gonna try the first one.
Yes?
So it's gonna be x.
So you want to move x here?
Yeah. So
Negative
it's
3y?
negative x minus plus 6.
I'm only moving this positive term to the other side and make it negative.
Okay.
What do I need to do next? I divide both sides by? Good. So negative 1 divided by negative 3 is? Good. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is?
Plus 3.
Good. What is the slope of the first line?
Okay.
What is the slope of the second line? What can you say about these two lines? One has 1/3 as a slope and the other one 3.
Neither.
They're not none of the above because it would have been negative, right? Not parallel, not perpendicular. Okay, one more. And then we'll move on. So, let's say 69, where we have 6 plus 4x equals 3y, and 3x plus 4y equals 8. Can anyone dictate what to do? What will you do with the first equation or to the first equation? Yes, Nick?
Move the 6 to the other side.
See, you can read this equation from here and you will have 3y equals 4x plus 6. 3y equals 4x plus 6.
I know that's reading it left to right.
Right, but it's also always better to have y already on this. Because otherwise I have to move this and I have to move this and I have to move this. Instead of just reading it from the right.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yes, what do I have to do next? Wonderful. So y equals 4/3 x plus 2. Can anyone identify the slope of the first line? Do you all agree with 4/3? Yes? Yes? Okay. For the second one, the equation is 3x plus 4y equals 8. What do I have to do first?
You have to find the slope.
I have to move 3x. Very good. So I have 4y equals negative. Yes. Yes. Negative 3x plus 8. And finally, y equals x plus 2. Because I'm dividing by 4. Plus 2. Can anyone identify the slope of the second line? Any conclusion here? Are they perpendicular?
Yes.
Yes, because this one is the negative reciprocal of this one. So therefore, we conclude that in this case, in this problem, lines are perpendicular. Why? Because 4/3 equals negative 1 over 3/4. Okay. Next step, section 3.5. Equations of lines. I don't like the title because there is only one. I don't know why they call it equations of lines, but they are listing all of them from scratch again. Okay, so here is the scenario now. Given 2 points. Can anyone give me 2 points? Anything you can think of? And have some negatives and some positive coordinates in there. How much? I don't want the 0, though. I'll explain why. 1, -2 is perfect. And? Very good. You said 3, -4? Okay, perfect. So given 2 points, is any of these two the y-intercept? No. I'm going to write this down. Not the y-intercept, because I know what to do with the y-intercept. So this is a more difficult situation in which I'm not given the y-intercept. Find the equation of the line passing through them. One more time. Given 2 points, and we picked 2 points, none of which is the y-intercept. Find the equation of the line passing through them. Okay? What do I have to find first? Absolutely. Let's find the slope. Let's write the definition. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then, when you're ready, -4, yes? Minus -2 plus 2 over. Very good. The top is -2. The denominator is 2. The final simplified form of the slope is, I agree. The question is now, what do I do? Because I don't have the slope. I have the slope, but I don't have the y-intercept. Well, there is a different equation of the line for this specific situation in which I don't have the y-intercept. And here it is. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. And this is obviously called point slope form of the equation of a line. So it's not slope intercept because I don't have the intercept, but it's some point, a point, not the y-intercept, and the slope. Now, yes, I said not the y-intercept, but do you think that this formula will work with the y-intercept? Will work with any point. Of course it will work with any point. Because I only have 1 point in the slope. And that point can be the y-intercept. And I will still get the same equation at the end. But the point I'm making here is, when you have 2 points and none of which is the y-intercept, don't think of the first equation. This is the one you should use. If you're given, if one of the 2 points is 0 comma a number, it means that you are given the y-intercept. Please use the slope y-intercept form. But if none of them is the y-intercept, please use this point slope form. Okay, so now what do I replace in this equation? Obviously, I replace this by, very good, I replace this by, you can choose, but you cannot choose one from here and one from there. You have to be consistent and choose one or the other. So I'm going to choose my x1 and y1. Let's see what happens next. Can anyone dictate? This side. Exactly. Y plus 2 equals, yes, parentheses, minus 1. Yes, I will have to solve for y in all situations. I have to distribute negative x plus 1, and then I bring 2 to the other side.
Choose this from the original coordinates.
Any point. Yes. I chose 1, negative 2, 1, negative 2. You can choose 3, negative 4. 3, negative 4. You will get at the end, you'll get the same answer. So the equation is y equals negative x minus 1. One more time. What does this equation represent? The equation of the line passing through the given points, the points that we invented. So this is the equation of the line that passes through those points. Now, if I want to graph, I will plot those points. This is not what I'm asking you to do, but I just want to make a point. 1 comma negative 2 and 3 comma negative 4. I plotted these 2 points. I graphed a line. Can anyone tell us what should I write on the line or below it? What is the name of this line? What is the equation of this line? Of course, minus, right? Because we have 1 minus 2. That's it. So I was given these 2 points. I was able to find the equation of the line, and once I graphed it, I know that this line has this equation. Any questions? Okay, on page 224, let's start with problem 33. Negative 1, 3, and negative 2, negative 5. Okay, 2 minutes. Of course, we are given 2 points, and we're asked to find the equation of the line. We're not asked to graph. I'm not going to ask you to graph. But we're given 2 points. We're asked to find the equation of the line passing through these 2 points. And I will take attendance in the meantime. If you need any help, let me know. Ready? Okay, so what is the first step, please? Find the slope. Let's find the slope. So the slope is, please write the definition, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 so you don't make a mistake, and I'm ready, please. Bless you. Yes? Excellent. Excellent. The numerator, -8. The denominator, and the slope, excellent. Since none of these is 0 comma number, which is the y-intercept, please use y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. Please dictate. Of course, this will be 8. It doesn't matter which point you want to use. You can use -1, 3, -1, 3, or you can use -2, -5, -2, -5, and you will get the exact same answer. Okay, what point would you like to use? -1 and 3? Okay, -1 and 3. Please dictate. What would you write? Yes. X plus 1. Yes, and now we distribute. Excellent. So what do I get next? Therefore, y equals 8x plus 11 because we have to move 3 to the other side. Excellent. Any questions on this? Any questions on this? I'm sorry? Yes, of course. Yes, pick any point you want, or if you want, I can pick. Oh, yes, you will love this. No. No, because it's 0, 0, I don't want to use that. Okay, let's say 35. 0.2 comma 3 and -1, -1. So it's -1, -1. And after this, I'd like to look at a word problem. Can anyone give us the first step? Or not yet? Okay. Do we need more time? Ready? Okay, I'm ready. Slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Top, -1 minus 3, the denominator. Top. -4. Bottom. Slope. Very good. Excellent. Now, y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. Let's write underneath or above what you're planning on substituting. M x1. For simplicity, -1, it's easier, but it doesn't matter to me. 2, very good. And excellent. So please dictate. Y minus 3 is good. Good. Now I have to distribute 4/3 to x, and I get 4/3 x. But then I have to distribute 4/3 to 2/1. What do I get? Very good. And then I have to add 3, bringing it from the other side. Now, let's take it aside. -8/3 plus 3/1. Please give me the LCD. Yes. So this one does not need anything, but this one needs 1 times what is 3. So the numerator is -8 plus
9.
good. -8 plus 9 is 1/3. So then y equals 4/3 x plus 1/3. This is the equation of the line that passes to the given points. Okay, now why all this? Here's the answer. Page 225. I would like to start with problem 70.
Okay.
70 on 225. 70 on 225. Let's read the problem first. A Hawaiian fruit company is studying the sales of a pineapple sauce to see if this product is to be continued. At the end of the first year, now I take notes, end of first year, profits on this product amounted to $30,000 profit. At the end of the fourth year and a fourth year, profits were 66,000 profit. Assume that the relationship between years on the market and
66,000.
yes. Assume that the relationship between years on the market and profit is linear. And write an equation describing this relationship. Now, what are the variables before I read on? What are the variables in this problem?
Years and profit.
And profit. I need to make sure that I put them in the correct order. Is the independent variable profit and the dependent time, or the independent is time and the dependent is profit? Which one depends on what? On which? So profit depends on time. So which one in the ordered pair that I will have to write, which one will be the first coordinate? Time. And which one will be the second coordinate? Because profit depends on time. This is extremely important to be able to identify correctly. So, yes, this must be time. Independent. It passes no matter what. And this is profit, which is dependent. The dependent variable. It depends on time. So therefore, the problem is definitely, I hope you agree, giving us two ordered pairs. Can anyone come up with the correct ordered pairs? Do you all agree with 1, 30,000? When year is 1, profit is 30,000. Can anyone give us the second one? Now the problem is done. Why? Because I know how to find the slope, and I know how to find the equation of a line passing through 2 points with none of them being the y-intercept. Okay, 2 minutes. I need the equation of this line passing to the given points.
That's the slope intercept one.
Only when I solve for y, I will get the slope-intercept form. I can't find the slope-intercept form from the beginning. But after I solve for y, that will be in the slope-intercept form. Yes, I agree.
The second question was y minus y1 equation.
Yes. Yes, I have to use that, but if I don't have the slope, I can't get there yet.
So you have to find one before the other.
I have to find the slope first. Yep. Very good. Ready? Can you give me anything?
M equals 10,000.
Okay. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We agree with that, right? So please tell me what to write. I'm sure you're right.
60,000 minus 30,000.
66,000 minus 30,000 over
66 minus 1.
4 minus 1. And the top, that's okay. And the top is,
36,000.
which is 12,000 means nothing. I need the measurement unit. So the measurement unit of a ratio has a measurement unit of a
$1,000 a year.
exactly. Thank you. I was going to say the slope has a measurement unit that is a ratio coming from the top, which is in dollars, and over the bottom, which is in years. So the measurement unit is dollars per year, which means according to the model, their profit does what every year? Increases by 12,000 per year. What if the square negative? What would you have said? Decreases by $12,000 a year. Excellent. So now what do I do?
You have the points left for it.
Correct. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. And I punch in the numbers. Careful. So this is 12,000. And which ordered pair would you prefer?
130,000.
Okay, 130,000. Now please dictate. Y minus 30,000 equals 12,000 times x minus 1. I have to solve for y. Please tell me how to solve for y.
Y equals 12,000 x minus 300.
Minus 12,000, but plus 30,000. Plus. So y equals 12,000 x. 30 minus 12 is 18. What does this represent? This is the equation that gives us the profit for any x you want. So if you plug in 1, what should y be? You don't have to calculate, it's right here. If you plug in 1, what will you get? If you plug in 4, what will you get? Absolutely. Now we can answer part B. Use this equation to predict the profit at the end of 7 years. Use this equation to predict the profit at the end of 7 years. What do I do now? Okay, x equals 7, so y equals 12,000 times 7 plus 18,000. How much is that? That's 84 plus 18. Is it 102? Very good. Now, what if I ask you, give me an ordered pair that you just determined for this equation? What will you say? What will you give me? Of course. 7 for x, 102,000 for y. Absolutely. That is the ordered pair. 7, 102,000. Now, what if I ask and I add this question? When will the profit be from the book? 126,000. When will the profit, I'm adding the third question to the problem. This third question is not here. I'm adding it in, I'm putting it in. When will the profit be 126,000? How do I determine that? Oh, did I answer that? It's given in the problem. 7 was given in the problem. Okay. When will the profit be 126,000? What am I asked to do? And how do I get when? Which of the two variables is when? And which one is profit? No. So the profit is y, and when is x. So I'm asked, when does this happen? What do I have to write? Please dictate. Yes? 126,000, yes? Yes? Equals 12,000, yes? Plus 18, 18,000. Okay, what do I do next? What will be the next step towards solving for x? Yes. I have to do what? Excellent. I have to subtract 18,000. So 126 minus 18 is 108. Okay. How do I get x now? I divide 108,000 by 12,000. So x equals 9 years. Now, if I ask you what is the ordered pair that you just determined, what will you say? That's the reason why we study linear equations.